Now let's talk about those numbers. This is a good one for you. Very good, very good. Stay with me and I bless you on this one. The food industry overuses salt for contributes to over 100,000 American deaths every year. In a new study published by the British Medical Journal, researchers wrote that a 50% reduction in daily salt intake could prevent approximately 100,000 deaths from heart attack and strokes in the United States every year. But actually, achieving this could be difficult considering Americans aren't the ones pumping their meals full of salt. The food corporations are. And this is how they do it. 80% of the salt that we eat is added by the food industry for a couple reasons. But before we get to the couple reasons, I want to talk about this point, the fact that 80% of the salt that we eat is not even salt that we sprinkle in our food. It's salt that happens in a factory, right? So when you buy that Hungry Man or that Hot Pocket or, that hamburger meat or that macaroni and cheese that you love, Kraft macaroni and cheese, I love it too. That is all added by the food industry. And there's reasons for that. There's a lot of reasons. I'm pretty sure you're thinking of some right now. Don't worry, stay with me and I'll bless you. I'm going to tell you why they do it. But, what this harkens back to me is that America is an obese nation, right? We're a fat country. We have a lot of fat people. Why we have fat people? We have fat people because all this salt's being pumped into our food, right? So even if we wanted to reduce our salt intake, it still would be impossible because the corporations will do anything to pad their pockets, including pumping tons and tons and tons of salt into our food, right? Excess fat, salt, and sugar in cheap and readily available processed food has accounted for 80% of all U.S. teens on track to develop heart disease, increase the nation's healthcare expenditures. So, you heard that, right? So, because it's so cheap to get excess fat, excess sugar, excess salt, and because it's readily available, processed foods just pump it in. It's like pumping up a tire to your car. They just pump it in, pump it in, pump it in, pump it in. And that is why we pay so much for healthcare. Because we have too many fat people, too many people with heart disease, because they're getting so much salt, and even if they tried to control the salt they were receiving, it would be impossible because the majority of the food in our grocery store is pumped with salt and sugar and cheap fat. It's a sad, sad affair. Sad affair, America. We can do better.